So what is it like to be a bright dyslexic adult, one who was not diagnosed until he was well into middle age, and who continues to struggle with reading to this day? Perhaps the worst impact of having a low level of literacy, no matter how intelligent the person is that it robs him of his self-esteem. As I have noted often in these lectures, many in our society mistakenly confuse slow reading with slow thinking, when nothing could be further from the truth. As a society, we have a responsibility to screen and to diagnose dyslexia early, since we now have the tools to do so. The urgent need for it was brought home to me recently. I am very proud of my university, Yale, for the depth of its understanding of dyslexia and its resultant actions. Our Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity serves as a referral center for students needing assessments. As part of this process, a student had been referred who was registered for an online course at Yale, which required him to come to Yale once a month, and whose professor thought he might benefit from an in-depth assessment. I review each of these evaluations, and as I was going through this particular one, I was struck by the student's level of intelligence, highly superior, in the 98th percentile, in contrast to his very low scores in phonological processing and reading. Here was a classic example of the definition of dyslexia. He was 54 years old. I phoned him, identified myself, and shared with him the results of his test, which showed that he was dyslexic and brighter than 98% of the population. "Are you sure you have the right person?" he asked. I assured him I did. I didn't hear anything from him for several seconds, so I asked, "Are you there?" "I am, but I'm crying," came the reply. I started shedding tears as well. We met in person a few weeks later when he was on campus. He had compensated to a fantastic degree. He was going for a doctoral level degree now. He had essentially memorized words in his specialty. Yes, but at a cost. As he describes, "I can't do it, read those words automatically. I would love to be able to watch foreign films, but I can't read the subtitles fast enough." The guidance counselor in high school told me I needed to select a technical field because I read so slowly and with such great effort. I would really like to be in a situation where I could express my creativity and my intelligence without worrying about the image I have to portray. I feel like I can't be myself, that I have all these personas I have to show to other people. I have to hide my dyslexia so that they don't think I am not smart. What would make me happy is to be able to go to work every day and help people without having to worry about how I'm going to be perceived. It would mean that I could be the real me, and that would be okay. The beginning of my career, I worked in a tertiary care trauma center, so the patients were really, really sick. After a while, I was always the one leading the cardiac codes and doing that. I didn't have to read it. I could react faster than I can tell you. There are so many things, so many workarounds that I have had to do to allow me to move forward on my intelligence so that I would not be stopped by my lack of a strong ability to read. For example, the GRE. I got around the GRE. If I had to take the GRE, I would not be able to go to grad school. Here's how I did it. The MSN, Master of Science in Nursing program, accepted me as long as I had a certain GPA, 3.5 or something. The same thing here at Yale. I didn't have to take the GRE for the degree I am aiming for, Doctor of Nursing Practice. If it had been the PhD program, I would have had to register for and take the GRE. The irony is that I would function better in the PhD program because I love research and I would love to write. Dyslexia is a really important part of my life, but I have real concerns about disclosing it. People have their preconceived perceptions. If I had a wish, it would be to have been diagnosed as dyslexic way earlier and then receive the reading instruction I would need to become a good reader, so that my intelligence and reading ability would be aligned together, and that I could truly be myself, inside and outside. How much easier life would have been for me. On the other hand, I am relieved and even happy to know that it is not too late, and there are still things I can do to help me be a better reader. This visit has opened the door, because even though I thought I was smart, this has validated that it just wasn't my wish or dream. It is real. Even in our increasingly technical society, it's still all about reading. Instructional manuals for the workplace, for computers, for cars, for putting together children's toys, directions for taking medications, for making up baby formulas, for safety, for voting, messages via mail, email, the internet, pager, and fax. Learning to read opens the door to a brighter, better future, and given the effective programs to teach reading at all levels of reading ability and at all ages, it is really never too late to learn to read. What do you wish that teachers had done earlier, or educators?
Knew of this system that will help kids at my age when I was younger that struggled with this. I knew that they knew of this system to help me overcome it at a younger age. Yes, I probably would be still playing basketball, but the confidence level that I lacked going through those different experiences in my life, they would have never been. I would have been able to overcome my reading abilities, and it just would have been very different for me.